Hi there! In this Anytype tutorial, we will create a drop-down list of choices that will help you keep your data more consistent and easier to analyze. We'll also take a look at the Kanban view, which allows you to see your data organized by columns once you've set up this drop-down list of choices. So here I've got business ideas in a collection, which is essentially just a folder, and I've created pages for each of the different ideas. Now I'm going to select this plus icon, and I'm going to go down to the very bottom where it says plus add relation. And here you have the option of choosing some pre-installed relations. However, for this example, I'm going to create a brand new one, and I'm going to call it initial startup costs. Make sure to click underneath it where it says create relation, and there's another menu which will ask you what type of relation this is, and we're going to select the one that's called select. Click create, and it says it's been added to our library, and it put it over here. So let's move this over here. Okay, so when you put your cursor in the box, if you want to use emojis, I'm going to go up to this text menu under edit. I'm on a Mac, by the way, so if you're on Windows, this probably looks different. And I want this money bags option, and I'm just going to copy that. Okay, and let's do 2 of these to create another option, and select status, and then let's do 3. Okay. So now you can see that we have some different choices, and now I'm actually going to go through and change this. So custom cakes actually has a pretty high startup cost with ingredients and equipment. Dog walking is kind of low. Personal training's pretty low. Photography is high because you have a lot of equipment. Rideshare driver is pretty high because you need a car. And video editing service, let's pick the middle one because you do need a computer and software, but might not be as much as a camera and other equipment that you need for photography. Okay, and now let's make another example just so we have a text option. Let's call this one demand. Let's create down here and select relation type. I'm going to do the same thing, select and choose create. Now that we have this demand relation, I'm just going to speed through this part where I'm assigning low, medium, and high to all of these ideas. Now, if you want to change the color of your text options, if you put your cursor next to the text, there are 3 dots here, and you can change it to purple. Again, I'm going to speed through this part where I'm just going to change the color of low. And now we can create our Kanban view. So here on the plus icon next to all, we're going to select layout on this settings menu and choose Kanban. Now initially it says group by, and here's our selection, initial startup cost. Now if you go back to the settings, you can toggle which relations show on this card. So I'm going to hide the object type so that we don't see the word page on these, and that looks a lot cleaner. If you forget what relation this is, just hover over the text or emojis and you'll see that it will say either initial startup cost or demand if I'm hovering over the word high. You can also edit the name of this Kanban view so it's more applicable to your data. So put your cursor on top of the word Kanban and select Edit View, and then you'll be able to change the title of this view. I'm going to call this one Startup Cost, and we can also create a second view, and usually it defaults to grid, so you'll have to change the layout again to Kanban, and this time I want to group it by demand, which is the other relation we made that was text only. So now it's listed as high, low, and medium, and let's move low over to the right so it's more in order. And again, I'm going to change the title of this from Kanban, and on the edit title, I'm going to change it to demand. The last thing I want to show you is how to get rid of this uncategorized column. Click on the three dots, it will show column settings, and you have the option to hide the column. So select that, and that column will be hidden.